Okay, you've muted yourself now. So thank you very much for inviting me today. As I've said before, namaste, which namaste in Sanskrit means I offer you my respects. I, the soul within this body, offer you, the soul within your body, my respects. So, and I would also like to offer my respects to the great spiritual masters that have passed down this meditation that I teach since time immemorial. And it's an ancient form of Vedic meditation where we're focusing on what is called transcendental sounds. And all we have to do with these transcendental sounds, known as mantras, is focus our minds on them. So before I talk on Buddhism and the differences between Buddhism and yoga meditation, I'd like to just practice a few minutes of yoga meditation just to calm all our minds. And you may not have done it before, so it's a wonderful practice. It's where we're going to be focusing on mantras. And Buddhists also focus on mantras. It's because mantras, they're not normal material sounds. They are actually what is known as transcendental sounds. They transcend material energy. They descend directly from the spiritual realm, and they are all pure and all purifying. You take the root of the word mantra. Man means mind, and trap means to draw away or deliver. So by focusing our minds on mantras, we're drawing our minds away from any thoughts, concerns, worries, etc., and placing them on the all purifying sound of the mantras. Now, I don't know if any of you practice meditation already. Does anyone practice meditation already? Raise your hand. Yes. Okay. So it can be very difficult. Some people try to practice meditation where they just are being silent, trying to be in the moment, and just focusing, just trying to clear their minds of all thoughts. And it's actually easier to focus on the mantra because you have something for the mind to do, something for the mind to focus on. And we're going to focus on just one word, the mantra Gora Anga. And I'll put that up on the screen as soon as we start. And what we're going to do is we're going to take a deep breath in. And as we inhale, we'll think of the mantra Gora Anga. And as we exhale, we'll all say it together. Okay? We'll just do this for a couple of minutes. Most important thing is to try to keep our minds on the sounds of the mantras. And if our minds wander away and start to think about something else, don't be bothered by that. Just bring our minds back to the sound of the mantras. So I'm just going to try and do this now. Okay, share. There we go. At the top of the screen, you can see the mantra Gora Anga. Just raise your hand, Johnny. Can you see that? Okay, great. So I'm going to play a little bit of music to go with this. Get this together. My speaker went off. Okay. So just do a little mental scan of your body and check that you're not holding on to any tension. We can relax our shoulders. For the moment, close your eyes. Relaxing your face. Your hands resting softly in your lap. We'll take one deep inhalation and exhalation, and as you exhale, just feel the tension leaving your body. And when we begin the meditation, as we inhale, we'll focus our minds on the mantra Gora Anga. So we're chanting it within our mind. And as we exhale, we're all going to say it together, Gora Anga, stretching out the mantra to the length of the exhalation. So now we'll take a deep breath in, thinking of the mantra Goranga. And together, Goranga. Breathing in Two more times. Okay. Trying to work out how to get the screen big again. I did this before. All right. Okay. Wonderful way to start off the day, to spend a few minutes doing the Goranga breathing, taking nice deep breaths. So we're oxygenating every cell in our body. Plus, we're getting the added benefit of the purifying effect of the mantra. Very simple meditation. And I'll talk more about the end. If you want to actually come to a meditation class, I'll be giving one next week at the Aurora Library via Zoom. And we also have meditation classes on our website. So today's class is about Buddhism and the yoga that we practice, which is known as Bhakti Yoga. Now, I'm looking at the questions that Randy wrote here. He sent me a little list of questions that he said that, you know, you would be interested in hearing about, or he would be interested in hearing about. And the first one was a brief summary of the life of Buddha. So first of all, I have to tell you, I am not a Buddhist. I practice Bhakti Yoga, which comes from the ancient Vedic scriptures and has been handed down through spiritual masters and scriptures known as the Vedas or the Puranas and the Bhagavad Gita. And but there is talk about Lord Buddha in the Vedas, which I'll mention later. But I'll just give you a description of Lord Buddha first of all. He was a prince born around 560 BC, which was around 2,600 years ago. And he was born into an ideal situation. He lived in a perfect palace. He had a very perfect wife or wives. I believe he had more than one wife. And his parents wanted him to be king. He was an expert, what do they call, an expert kshatriya or warrior. And he really just lived the perfect life. He was also known as Siddhartha. In fact, Buddha is not a name. Buddha is actually a title that means the awakened one. So his name was Siddhartha. And at 29 years of age, he left home and became a mendicant or a beggar because, I'm sorry, I'm skipping myself here. First of all, he went on a trip outside the palace and he saw a sick person. And he had never seen a sick person before. And he asked, "What is that?" And somebody explained to him, you know, this is a person that is not well. Then they went further on and they saw an old person. He'd never even seen an old person before. Remember, he was living this like perfect, idyllic life. And then he saw a dying man. And he asked, "Well, what's happening to this person?" And it was explained to him that this person is dying. And he realized then that he was being sheltered from all the, you know, these natural occurrences in life. So at 29 years of age, he left home and became a mendicant or a beggar because he wanted to address this problem. And he met a saintly person who was meditating, and he was very attracted to that. And he received lots of information from various people that were meditating or mendicants. And he decided that, you know, he needed to experience this for himself. So for 6 years, he sat down and he practiced meditation. He sat under what's a tree, which is known as the Bodhi tree. And he meditated for 6 years. And at that at some stage during that period of time, he actually experienced an awakening. And he was able to get rid of his disturbing thoughts and be what's called in the moment. And that was his enlightening moment. And then he traveled around and If people approached him and wanted to practice what he was doing, then he taught them. But he didn't force his meditation upon anyone. It was just, to those people that were interested in finding out about the meditation, did he speak to. Now, something a lot of people don't know about Lord Buddha, and it's in the actual Vedic scriptures, a very ancient scripture called the Srimad Bhagavatam, which was written first 5,000 years ago. So remember, Buddha appeared 2,600 years ago. So this was written 2,400 years before Lord Buddha appeared. And I'll read to you what it says. It says that he was actually one of the 10 principal incarnations of God. And Buddha is known as a Lila avatar. That's Lila, one word, and avatar, Avatar. So he was a powerful incarnation of the personality of Godhead. And it was said in the Srimad Bhagavatam, I'll read it to you. In the beginning of the age of Kali Yuga, the Lord will appear as Lord Buddha, the son of Anjana in the province of Gaya. So this is not something that's really publicized about Lord Buddha, but he was actually an incarnation of the personality of Godhead. Now, I'm just looking at some of the questions from Randy here. So he's asked, what are the main ideas of Buddhist philosophy? Well, I have friends that have spoken to people that have gone very deeply into Buddhist meditation and have actually become quite advanced. And what they're trying to do with the meditation is to get rid of all the thought forms in their mind. And after that, you achieve nothing. And that's when you're in the moment. So they're really actually teaching that we are the mind. And the object is to get rid of the mind. This is the Buddhist teaching. Now, the Vedic teaching, the Bhakti Yoga teaching, is that we are not the mind. We are the spirit soul with a covering of the mind. And it says in the Bhagavad Gita that we're eternal. And there was never a time when I did not exist, nor you, nor all these kings. So the process of mantra meditation that we do is to try to become purified of our thoughts, and desires and emotions and attachments, very similar to what Buddhist meditation does do, and they're trying to be in the moment. But we are actually, our aim is to realize our true spiritual identity. We are spiritual in form, we are eternal, and we are part and parcel of the Supreme Spirit, okay, which is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And our eternal function is to be in a loving relationship with the Supreme Person. And that's acted out in everyday life, that we're all looking for love. Right from the moment the baby is born, the baby wants to experience the loving arms of the mother. And without any love in our lives, our lives are quite empty. So it's actually a very natural function for us to be in that loving relationship. So with Bhakti Yoga, we're trying to become purified of our material desires, thoughts, actions, realize our true spiritual nature, and be in that loving relationship with the Supreme, which is our natural function. Whereas in Buddhist, when we manage to get rid of all the thought forms, we are in a state of zero, really. There's a state of nothing. So that is the main difference. Now, there are different branches of Buddhism. So where the teachings are slightly different. I'm not going to go into that right now. I mean, the Japanese practice Buddhism one way, the Chinese another way. They practice Buddhism in Thailand, where they actually, in some parts of the world, they actually do worship Buddha as God. They have altars, they bow down, they offer their obeisances, they offer things to Lord Buddha, and they actually do worship him as God, it's just a good thing. And now, why did Lord Buddha come then? Lord Buddha came, he didn't really come to teach that he was God. He came to preach nonviolence, ahimsa. You may have heard of ahimsa. So at that time when he came, there was a great deal of animal killing going on. And in the Vedas, it's okay, it was okay to kill animals to eat them if it was done in a very, there was very strict ways of doing it, very sort of Vedic regulations, etc. And they weren't doing that. They were just really killing the animals so that they could eat the meat. So Lord Buddha came to preach ahimsa. Don't do that. You know, he came to preach non-violence. That is the main reason he came. Now, there are 5 precepts in Buddhism, which is, I'm going to put up on the screen, actually. I'll work out how to do that. And which these precepts are really the same as in Bhakti Yoga. Okay, share screen. Excuse my lack of technique. Here we are. So can you all see that? Yes. Put your hand up. I keep calling you Allah. John, yes, you can see that. Okay, so the 5 precepts of Buddhism, and they are 5 principles of Bhakti Yoga as well. Number 1 is refrain from taking life, not killing any living being. And so this includes vegetarianism. I mean, Lord Buddha taught that not to kill living beings. Refrain from taking what is not given. So not stealing anyone. Well, that's from anyone. Well, that's a very good principle, and that's a principle that we follow. Number 3, refrain from the misuse of the senses. Another very good one, and one that we follow. 4, refrain from wrong speech, not lying or gossiping about other people, which is hurtful. That's a hurtful thing to do. So that's another principle that we follow. And number 5, refrain from intoxicants that cloud the mind. So as people become more serious with their meditation, they avoid any intoxicants. So I'll just stop sharing here. If anyone wants to take a screenshot of that, they can. I'll just leave it up for a second. And if you want to take a screenshot, feel free. Okay, stop sharing. All right, there we are again. So these 5 precepts of Buddhism, they're also the same as Bhakti Yoga. I'm just looking more at Randy's questions here, which I appear to have lost. Okay. Well, you asked the primary circumstance of his life that may have influenced his philosophy. So I did explain that. And well, the main reason why his philosophy was popular and why it spread was he was an incarnation of God. So he was a very powerful personality, and not powerful in a political way, but powerful in a spiritual way. He was actually had the ability to change people's hearts. So many people followed him. You've asked for a brief history of meditation and how is yoga related to it? Well, everybody thinks of yoga as a bunch of exercises, but actually the meditation is like the heart of yoga. Yoga goes so much further than just asanas, which are the exercises. And I used to teach Hatha yoga, the exercises, for many years. But it didn't quite bring me to the point where I was controlling my mind and my emotions, and just wasn't quite enough. And then I came across this meditation, and it did the trick. Within a week of practicing the meditation on a regular basis, I found that my mind became calmer. I wasn't as upset by things, things didn't affect me as much. I have no ability to change what was happening around me, but how it affected me changed. Just gradually did not bother me as much. So and the word yoga means union of body, mind, and spirit. And when you say union of body, mind, and spirit, that also includes the Supreme Spirit. So that is actually the real purpose of yoga. So this is how the yoga relates to the meditation, is to actually achieve that union of body, mind, and the Supreme Spirit. So you asked here for the primary difference, but there's a lot of questions here actually that I'm just touching on very lightly. But if you do go to our website, you will find some lectures that go into these subjects in a deeper way. The primary differences between the main forms of meditation. Well, there is the meditation we do where we're trying to reignite that loving relationship with the Supreme. Or there is also the Buddhist meditation, which is becoming nothing. Or there is there are followers of Sankaracharya who believe that we are all one. Now, there is a lecture on our website called Buddhism that is where the teachings of Sankaracharya are explained a little further. But they're teaching that there is no individuality. We all merge and become one. Whereas, as I said, we follow the teachings of the Bhagavad Gita, where we are individual spirit souls eternally. Now, this brings into mind the question of reincarnation. Do any people here believe in reincarnation? Raise your hand if you do. Nobody believes in reincarnation? No? Well, actually, this is part of our philosophy, is reincarnation. Now, with Buddhist philosophy, that is a little bit of a contradiction, because incarnate means to take on flesh and blood, and reincarnate means to take on flesh and blood again. So in the Buddhist philosophy, if there is no individual soul, then the question has to be asked, well, who is taking on flesh and blood again? Who is reincarnating? And that's a little bit of a tricky one that there is no answer to. Whereas, as I said in Bhakti Yoga, we are eternal, and according to our consciousness, at the moment our body dies, will accord the type of body we will take on in our next life. That is a very big subject, and I will touch on it lightly if anyone's got any questions. But basically, that is the difference between Buddhism, Bhakti Yoga, the teachings of Sankaracharya, which is practiced quite a lot in yoga schools. So I think, let me just have a look at my notes here. I think I've pretty much covered the main points without going into them in much detail. Oh yes, there's one here. Could Buddhism or meditation make for a better society? Absolutely, it could. Because it all begins with me. I mean, I see all these terrible things happening in the world. And the only change I can make is the change within myself and to help others. I'm not a politician. I'm not a powerful person, and most of us aren't. All we can do is make that change within ourselves and help others. But if everybody does that, then absolutely it can make for a better society. And this is why we teach meditation classes for free, to try to help people who are actually suffering a great deal at the moment, many people. In fact, the material world can be quite a place of suffering. So yes, Buddhism and meditation, any type of meditation, can help society. Okay. So thank you very much for being here. And Randy has also asked me to let you know, okay, you want to know a brief biography of myself? Okay, I will tell you. I started, as I said, I used to teach yoga for many years. I've sort of told you this already, actually. And it wasn't enough for me. Then some people moved right next door to me in Australia, and they were teaching meditation. And they were the people that taught me originally how to do it. And I thought, I'll give this a go. I'll try it. And I tried it. I sat down under a tree too in my backyard. It was Australia. It's warm all year round. And I sat under a tree every day for about, not long, 15, 20 minutes. and practiced meditation. But I did it with beads, which is in a class on our website. And plus I did the breathing with Goranga. And after just a week, I felt better. And I thought, oh, well, if I feel like this after a week, I'll increase it a bit and see if I feel even better. And so I did. And then as I was telling John, I went to the Australian School of Meditation, and I learned a lot of philosophy and started practicing group meditations. Plus, I kept doing my own meditation every day at home. That's very important, that we keep up our own personal practice. And here I am, 30 years later, different country. This meditation is practiced all over the world. I have friends in many, many countries that practice this meditation, and I'm still doing it just because it's really the old saying, the proof is in the pudding. If you do it and you experience what I experienced, then you keep doing it, because we all want to feel good. We all want to be happy. We're all looking for something. That's why we're all here, as we're looking for that something. And once I started and kept doing this meditation practice, I stopped looking. I had been prior to that looking at all these different things and reading all these different books and philosophies. And once I got right into this practice, I didn't feel the need to keep looking. I actually felt satisfied within. It's like if we were to go to a big banquet and we have our fill of food, we're no longer looking at food to make us feel satisfied, because we're already full. So that's how I feel with the meditation, as I feel full. And I just keep practicing what I'm doing. And it's not like I stay in the same place. Gradually, you achieve more and more realizations. They come from within. They actually come from the Supreme. It's something that it keeps on increasing. It's not something I can do an exam for or pass a test for. It's entirely an internal practice. Okay, so that's all I can do, is encourage you to try the meditation. Either go onto our website where we have online classes, or come to the class next week at Aurora Library that I'll be teaching, and try to incorporate it into your life. And that's the only way you're going to really understand the meditation, is by practicing it yourself. Our minds can only go so far, because our minds are material, even though they're on the subtle material level, and this is entirely on the spiritual or transcendental level. Okay.
Thank you very much, Madhavendra. I'm sure we're all very grateful to you for giving us these insights.
You're very welcome.
Yeah, I'm going to turn off the recording now. So that's thank you.